Now, from a divine masculine, divine feminine point of view, okay, let's take some insight here. This is where we going from here with polarizations. The polarizing effect that started with the Gemini Mars retrograde transit when Elon Musk took over Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And that was a polarization of the world, okay? Boy versus girl, you know what I mean? Republican versus liberal, you know what I'm saying? Democrat versus, conservatives and so on and so forth. This polarization, it culminizes now through Capricorn, and it says, where is our majority? Let's let go of any arrested development in our perceptions and how we're relating to divine masculine, divine feminine, and polarizations in this life. Polarizations in our perceptions and what we're incorporating into our reality. We're getting the revelation. The revelation is coming through that perhaps it's time to let go of polarizations. Those differences and polarizations that do not contribute to constructive long-term outcomes that agree with wisdom and practicality, efficiency. Should this continue to be part of the infrastructure of our reality? In opposition to that, the matriarchal mother expanded by Jupiter, Cancer, is shining a light of perfect wisdom, source wisdom, from the matriarchal principle itself. Lunar intention, our conscience, the bigger picture of righteousness, the bigger picture of what is best for everyone. What is healing? What is nurturing? And how do we incorporate that into the long-term trajectory between divine masculine and divine feminine intention? It's getting renewed through the Cazimi. This is a renewal of that polarization. Not renewal of the polarization as in continue the separation into the future, but to find constructive ways of relating to divine masculine and divine feminine from here on out. Capricorn is meant to contain the fire of Sagittarius, which is the truth of the mission, the truth of purpose in life. What makes life meaningful in and of itself, the purpose of being here. Realized through the ninth house, crown chakra downloads, perfect white light, expanding our understanding, that has to be contained into concepts, infrastructure, orders, and forms. Why? Because it must be delivered down from the mountain of Capricorn into the village of Aquarius as a water gourd. So right now, this Cazimi could give you a revelation of what your talents, what your gifts, what your relationships are supposed to serve in your life as a mission that gives you something valuable to give to humanity, to serve humanity with. Pay attention to your conversation, your ideas, the things that lights up your heart, the things that re-energizes you, that sends electricity through your body, through how you want to use your sixth house and how you want to manifest your fifth house, and whether or not it connects to what you realize your service could be to the people and what you can offer to the people. That is part of legacy, that carries legacy, that transfers legacy. This Cazimi is going to clarify to you exactly what needs to be done from relationship standpoints and also in scheduling. Your daily schedule is not something to underestimate. This is where open enemies enter at the sixth house. Open enemies. Enemies that you consent to. And Mars, whose glory is at the 6th house. Those are his opponents. And what that means is your enemies at that 6th house is things that are in the way of your well-being, your health, your productivity, your efficiency, your responsibilities, and your ability or capacity to fulfill them. Anything that prevents you from creating and forming the proper character at the 10th house. Anything that stalls the manifestation of the right character that you need to stand in at your MC. Anything that's in the way as a distraction, a liability, or a burden that's not contributing to the capacity that you have to grow yourself into to fulfill the responsibilities and duties that are waiting for you at the 10th house that comes with your destiny. You have to have the emotional clarity, the spiritual clarity to stand in, to be productive, and it's your responsibility. You're not here to teach grown people how to be civilized. You're not here to constantly keep warning people about how they're handling the privilege of being in your life, of being in your personal space, of having access to you. You're not here to keep turning around as you know you have an appointment with your destiny. To keep trying to coach everyone on where to stand and how to stand in your life. If they can't figure it out, leave the motherfucker standing there jacking off. Leave the motherfucker standing there bullshitting and making noise. Make up your mind. Do you respect yourself or not? Are you trying to get there or not? This is not a message for you to just go cutting people off. That's lazy. But it is a message to be decisive about what needs to be done, because the revelation is here with this Cazimi. The revelation is finally here. What you're supposed to be doing, who you are at this point from now on. We get a supercharged renewal of Venus and Mars potent powers. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. Our receptivity and our productivity. Our attraction and our power to create. Our Aries domain and our Libra domain. This is a fresh start and a renewal. Don't waste it. This is energy that requires Capricorn, because we're meant to submit this energy, submit this revelation to containment. I'll give an example. You get a revelation. The first thing you want to do, make sure you record it. Write it down. Because it's not only meant for you, it's meant for you to share and distribute that revelation. In the same way, the revelation that you got from the Sagittarius stellium, coming out of the wilderness of the Scorpio stellium, that is the truth, that is the mission, that is the purposefulness that you have to contain into infrastructure in order so that you can see legacy out of what it is that you realize is your portion in this life. And beware of the enemies to the 6th house, the distractions, places in your body where emotion is leaking in unproductive manners. Focus. Don't fuck it up. January the 6th, we have good news that Venus Cazimi finally here. January 8th, we have the Mars Cazimi. Cazimi, as you know, we're making it out of the combustion in which the light of the sun, the energy of the sun, it's blinding rather than clarifying. And that's when the heart soul urge the intensity of the heart soul urge, it outdoes the connection that we're supposed to have with our planetary impulses. And for that reason, there's a lack of clarity about how our energies and forces, our expressions, and the different bodies that makes up the self, how it's all supposed to work together to make sense of the picture. So it comes out confusing, where your heart is radiating, but you just can't line it up to make sense of what do I do with this longing? What do I do with this urge? So what you've been feeling since Mars and Venus combust is a confusion. A confusion along the glory of Venus, which is the 5th house, and the glory of Mars, which is the 6th house. And those two things, the 5th house, how do I align with my heart's desire? How do I align with it? Through relationships, through financial pursuits and intentions, ambitions, opportunities. And also, as it relates to the 6th house, what is the process? What's the order? How do I prepare the offering that either gets accepted or rejected? That's the 6th house. It's your offering. What are the patterns that I have to initiate and follow through with in order to form the character that I know is going to guarantee me my destiny? After all, it is character that equals destiny and nothing else. Your character. But the character rests on those patterns that you set at the 6th house. And that is the glory of Mars. And we're trying to clarify these things so that we can take confidence in where we're going and have clarity in where we're going. Making it out of the combustion and finally Cazimi, it's a point of revelation. It's a point of revelation where the light of the sun, it dissolves the confusion, the cloudiness that's around the Cazimi planet. In this case, Venus, and then 2 days later, Mars. So Venus, your astral body, how you want to sense and feel a sense of fulfillment, joy, pleasure, satisfaction, the fruits of your labor, meaningfulness with your talents and gifts, knowing that it's serving to an aim, knowing that there is some kind of sweetness to this life, that there's something in this life that can return some means of joy to you, some happiness, some fulfillment, a return, something that goes with the hard work and progress in order to find balance. And what better balance than 5th house and 6th house? 6th house is the work, the daily routines and process, what must be done in repetition. It's the offering or sacrifice that must be perfected in how we go about doing it. As how you do one thing is how you do all things. And we end up seeing the 6th house at the 10th house. It forms a reputation. It either gives you access or it denies you access, depending on how you treated that 6th house. And that's what Mars is all about. That's the glory of Mars. It's giving you victory through the 6th house, success through the 6th house, confidence through the 6th house, hope through the 6th house. The 6th house is where we come out of the delusion of our intentions and we find out where our willpower has to perform. It's where we let go of the entitlement and we see where is the responsibility. What equals efficiency or not? It's where we apply the Virgo algorithm of our consciousness. And these are the things that we're searching for in the cloud of combustion. But through the Cazimi, it all comes to you. It's finally clarified how the energy that Mars wants to transfer to you can serve the heart soul urge expression of the heart. And ultimately, what does that look like? It looks like you having a glimpse of your life path, an understanding of your life path. It's when you see your life path through the 6th house, and it's when you see your life path through the 5th house. It's where you see the joy that's there for you in your life path at the 5th house. It's where you see the strength and efficiency that's there for you in your life path at the 6th house. It's also where you see through the 6th house in Mars how you can promise yourself victory or not at the 10th house. This is a clarification through the Cazimi that bridges a connection between the heart soul urge and the life path, finally seeing, comprehending, making sense of the relationship between you and the mission, you and your purpose, and how that particular planet or impulse has a promise for you and how you will get there. What's in it for you? It's a refreshment and renewal of that particular impulse. That planet is exhausted prior to the Cazimi. Tired, beat down, frustrated, discouraged. Crying, woe is me, when will my time ever come? When will help ever come? Is it ever going to work? Is it possible? Am I delusional? It's like Job. Just before his wife told Job, why don't you curse God and die? That's the status of that planet in combustion. It's just like Job. That's how you have been relating to Venus. That's how you have been relating to your Mars. And because you've been relating to Venus that way, you've been feeling that way about your 5th house. That's destined for you. You've also been feeling that way about your 6th house. The only way you can give yourself a promise is through the 6th house. Otherwise, you're delusional and entitled. And we know entitlement doesn't work for long. There's consequences to entitlement. So if I'm to strive for what I say I want out of life, if I'm to show up for what I see or realize that life really means, what are my instructions? And Mars Cazimi finally gives Mars those marching orders, those instructions, clarifies to Mars, this is what it's about. This is what you need to do. Mars wants practical instructions. Mars doesn't want to know what's right. Mars wants to know what's wrong. Mars doesn't want to know where the road is already clear. He wants to know, what road do I need to clear? So what kind of algorithm satisfies the needs of Mars? Which the needs of Mars is to know these things. You guessed it. Only the Virgo algorithm, the Virgo consciousness can do that. And we have Virgo at the South Node. So what that tells us is that in hindsight, all that we've suffered, all that we have been going through, in context of the South Node, Virgo, number 9 manifestation of the rebirth of the self. We've gone through things that now releases clarity and revelation to Mars based on all that we have suffered. It gives insight, clarity, confidence to the long-term trajectory of what's in the way, what has to be cleared out of the way, what is wrong with the picture, and what can go wrong in this picture. And that's all Mars wants to know. Because once he knows that, he knows that he has the resilience, the courage, the clarity to accomplish it for you. And ultimately, the 6th house is to arrive at the 10th house, which is Capricorn. It's a trine. The 6th house gives access to the 10th house. That which you do over and over again, it becomes a characteristic. It becomes your character. And your character becomes destiny. And that is what determines our capacity to inherit new responsibilities, new duties, new roles in life that raises our status, that expands the meaning of our life, and ultimately our self-esteem, being that the 10th house falls to the 2nd house. A renewal of our values, our belief in in what we can do, what we can accomplish, who we are, what we're worth. Do not limit your interpretation of Venus to love. Love is not so superficial. Be careful with that. We can't speak on love without speaking on truth. Never forget that. Without truth, you're just talking. You're delusional. You're cherry picking. And you feel entitled. If you want to talk about love, respect the 8th house. Have the courage to align with the 8th house. Cowards can't speak on love. This Cazimi is in Capricorn. Being that it's in Capricorn, it's all about the long-term trajectory. It's about finding due process in all things. It's about wisdom and maturity as the proper approach to Venus and the 5th house, and what we want of Venus and what we desire of the 5th house. What we want of relationships, what we want of finances, what we want as outcomes in our life that are fruitful. It's bringing a mature mindset. It's being able to confess where we have arrested development in the spirit and releasing it, letting it go, coming out of the delusion, and getting realistic about what it's going to take to align with the proper values, Venus, the right positioning in relationships with the proper persons, people that cause us to grow, people that challenge us, people that are healthy for us. And when somebody's good for us, they cause us to grow. And when somebody causes us to grow, they keep us vulnerable. They keep us on our toes. And the maturity factor is where we realize that maintenance has to go to every relationship. It's not a free ride. It must be maintained. Reciprocal. One hand washes the other. Trust is constructed and preserved. Transparency, good character, selflessness, compassion, understanding, empathy, communication. Seeing the bigger picture, sacrifices, humility, negotiation, honoring contracts, sincerity. Capricorn wants to go over these things, look into these things, consider these things. So it's finding the slow approach to the fifth house. It's finding the long-term trajectory and plan of what it's going to take to manifest the outcome of the fifth house that we desire. But through the revelation, it's clarified to us how that's possible. The enthusiasm is there. The desire is there. We hear the yes coming from the heavens. But through Capricorn, we have the self-restraint. We sit in the position of strength and wisdom through Capricorn. Strength is calm. Apply self-restraint. The maturity, it's slow to action, reflective, always considering consequences and accountability, managing freedom with sensitivity and moral commitment. In opposition to this, Cancer Jupiter, we're incorporating our matriarchal realizations and expansiveness within the self. That incorporation includes never neglecting the self, honoring the inner child all the way, never overstepping the inner child or overtalking the inner child. Every aim and intention comes back to community. Every aim and intention comes back to family. Every aim and intention comes back to togetherness, unity. The will is compassion, advocacy, care. The realization is that righteousness in what I do is an authenticity and my ability to cry for someone else other than myself, and to get angry for someone else other than myself, and to remember that there is necessity that I suffered without. Therefore, I must become the solution to bring that necessity so no one else will go without. Remembering these things is the only thing that makes the mission worth it. Mars, there's a wisdom to the approach, reflective about our actions, and ready to be accountable to our actions. and considering our actions always, Cancer Jupiter, and moral commitment, moral obligation, that what we do must not disturb the sensitive spiderweb of moral obligation. Respecting and honoring the matriarchal mother of the divine, Yamaya, Cancer, sacred mother, grandmother of universe. Never displeasing her, never betraying her, that in all that we do, we honor her. Mother is watching, and Mother cares if what we do violates her rules and her laws. You can be ambitious. You can work hard. You can set your goals. You can apply the necessary pressure, but don't get carried away. Jupiter in Cancer is a revival of matriarchal law. Jupiter is representing heavenly law, laws of heaven, in Cancer, raising it in the conviction of the self through retrograde. And in this conviction, we are realizing that if what we are doing or intending is to be blessed, if it is to turn out good, it must serve the matriarchal principle. Otherwise, it is futile, it is selfish, it is ahrimanic, it is oppressive, and is full of injury. And we're hustling backwards because that's not what we're creating for the future. That's not what we're here to do.